Hello, I'm Priscilla, and I'll be giving my speech on easy ergonomics for computer users. It's basically going to be applying to the Office workstation. I'd like to start off with a simple question. Have you ever thought about everything you do at your desk and all the tasks it involves and the different ways you use your body? I'd like to highlight on a few different topics. What is ergonomics, the purpose of ergonomics, and health concerns and preventative measures that can be taken. What is ergonomics, you might ask? Ergonomics is the way in which your body interacts with the environment in which you perform a task. Office ergonomics, on the other hand, is more focusing on arranging your desk placement and your work environment to better suit the needs of your job. So for instance, your workstation, your monitor, your chair, your desktop, your keyboard, your mouse, and so forth. The purpose of office ergonomics: up to 50% of people, so every other person you figure, suffer from some sort of discomfort, which ranges from tendinitis, lower back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and which is usually due to awkward static positions and repetitive tasks. Ergonomics can help prevent these sort of injuries: muscle fatigue, full body fatigue, eye strain, headaches, stress, back pain, neck pain. Our human body has the ability to do many different things: stretch, bend, twist, but doing these incorrectly or repetitively for long periods of time can cause the body harm. Signs and symptoms that you may come across is the inability to make a fist, tingling or numbness in the fingers, burning sensations in the fingers, morning stiffness or cramping of the fingers, thumb weakness or frequent dropping of objects, sharp pains that shoot up from the wrist to the upper arm, especially at night. And it's very important that you report these sort of injuries immediately, or that you seek early medical treatment. It'll prevent a minor ache from turning into an operation if it continually persists over time. So definitely do not wait on that. Common risk factors, again, is that static, awkward positions, awkward posture, repetitive movements, holding the body in the same position for long periods of time. For example, data entry for, again, long periods of time, mousing versus typing, working with a flexed wrist. That's very important not to be doing that. Viewing your monitor with your head kind of cocked up, that's not good. It causes neck pain as well. And ways to prevent these injuries, we're going to discuss evaluating your workstation setup, your job surroundings, your job tools used. With the workstation setup, it more involves like the posture, the length of time that you're doing your particular activity, the types of movement, repetition movements. Your job surroundings is more going to be related to the lighting, the temperature, the noise levels, humidity, your work surface, and your job tools used, again, are more or less implying what we're going to go into more detail on because of time constraints. Your computer, your mouse, your keyboard, your chair, your phone, those sort of things here. So preventative measures that we'll be taking: adjusting the workstation, your chair requirements, your focal requirements, your keyboard and mouse placement, your reach requirements, and your environment in general. With your chair requirements, your chair height is very important. Your feet should be laying flat on the floor. If they cannot lay flat on the floor, then you need a split step. And your thighs should also be parallel to the ground. They can be at a slight angle, but we definitely recommend them to be parallel to the ground. Your backrest should be giving you lower and upper back support, and your seat pan should also be giving you some comfortable support. It's very important that you remain in a relaxed posture with your upper arms and shoulders. A lot of these chair requirements are going to come into more effect as where you see your height and whatnot with further detail into our monitor here. So your monitor, it's important that it's in the center of your body, and you are in the center of the monitor as well. Your upper eye level should be right here at the very top of the monitor, and this is again is where it's going to come into being important, where your chair height comes in. Your viewing distance, it says 15 to 29 inches, which some people take it as 18 inches. But a good way to figure that, again, is just by arm's length here. And it's also important that your monitor is free from glare. So if you need to reposition the desk area so that when either glare from the lighting fixtures or glare from the windows, you may need to do that as well. Which from glare you can come between headaches, blurry vision, eye strains. So they all become a remaining factor. It's also important to take small breaks in between and not be continuously looking at the monitor, but we'll come into that a little bit later with tips. Your keyboard and mouse placement, your hands should remain on the home row, your elbows should remain at a 90 degree, your forearms should be parallel to the floor as well, and your keyboard should be at the end of the desk. Some people tend to use these mouse wrist rests, and it's more or less just to, while in between or while resting for keyboarding, you can rest your wrist on there, as well as to keep your elbow or your wrist, straight and flat, and not where you're flexing your wrist while keyboarding. It's not mandatory, but it is recommended if you feel as though you need it. Another important feature is that you keep your mouse close to the keyboard so that you're all within a good working distance there. Work reaches. So you have 3 different zones: your primary zone, your secondary zone, and your rare zone. Your primary zone is where your frequent reaches are, which they need to be tended into 18 inches. Your secondary zone is occasional or infrequent reaches, which is usually 20 inches within reaching zone, and your rare zone is beyond 24 inches. And that's more or less different examples of these. Your primary zone may be anything that you grab from a phone or a calculator, again 18 inches. The secondary zone 20 inches, which could be a pen sharpener or just occasional things that you may grab. And the rare zone is anything from your Rolodex to reference books. If you ever tend to pick up something heavy, it's best to pull it towards you before lifting it and picking it up. While we're discussing all this, here's just like an example of what you could consider your reaching zones. And here's a demonstration which you can refer to your handout for, about where your eye level should be, again within arm's reaching distance. Her elbows at 90 degrees, her thighs are parallel to the ground at 90 degrees. Her feet are flat on the floor. Her lighting is fine. Her keyboard is right next to the edge of the desk. Her seat pan is providing her good support, as well as her backrest is providing her good back support as well. And now on to your environment. Check lighting, noise, temperature, the work pace, and stress levels, as well as checking your work processes. All important features as well. Especially stress levels can cause, if your work pace is too rapidly and you're causing yourself a lot of stress, it can potentially cause you harm in the long run here. And tips that we're going to go ahead and cover. Stretch in the morning or stretch periodically throughout the day. Just basic stretching, just kind of give your body a little break. Take small rest breaks approximately every 30 minutes, and it's just 1 to 2 minutes that you'll take these breaks for. Walk around the office, kind of get your mind off of it for just a second, go to the restroom, get a drink of water, gaze out the window for a few minutes, get your mind off the monitor as well, or your eyes off the monitor rather. And if you're doing repetitive tasks, it's very important, or for long periods of time, it's very important that you take these small breaks as well, just again to kind of give you relief in your body, relief as well as mental relief. In conclusion, it's very important that these ergonomics are improved within your workstation or your workspace. We will not only work smarter, but our quality, comfort, and safety will make us more productive and happy in the long run. If anybody else has any further questions, you may come to me afterwards. And I appreciate your all's time, and thank you for listening to my speech.